Romy Reiner heartbreakingly marks her first birthday since the tragic passing of her parents, the two people she called her best friends. Just days after the brutal killings that shattered her family, Rob Reiner's daughter is marking her 28th birthday without her parents by her side. Rob Reiner, legendary filmmaker, storyteller, father, and his wife Michele Singer Reiner were not just Romy's parents, they were her closest confidants, something she often admitted on social media with loved-up posts in their honor. Now, those voices are gone, stolen in a tragedy that no daughter should ever have to survive. On December 14th, Romy's life was violently split into before and after. Authorities say it was Romy who discovered the bodies of her parents inside their Los Angeles home, both stabbed to death in what investigators later described as a brutal double homicide. The filmmaker behind When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, and The Princess Bride was gone. So was Michele, a photographer, a mother, a woman deeply loved by her family. Within days, Romy's younger brother Nick was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Long before tragedy struck, Romy never hid how deeply she adored her parents. In 2022, she lovingly referred to both Rob and Michele as her best friends, sharing heartfelt tributes on their birthdays alongside photos filled with laughter, warmth, and intimacy. On Father's Day last year, Romy posted about how much she cherished simply hanging out with her dad, talking for hours, laughing, sharing stories like equals. Their bond seemingly wasn't distant or formal. It was close and constant. Just weeks before Rob's death, Romy was seen vacationing with her father, smiling, swimming, and soaking in moments she could never have known would be their last. On November 29th, Romy shared a slideshow capturing their time together in a tropical location. She splashed through the water, grinning beside the Hollywood icon, a daughter enjoying carefree moments with the man who raised her. Those images now read like a haunting farewell, frozen in time. Romy's social media wasn't curated perfection. It was candid, playful, and deeply personal. In one video posted last October, she cut her father's hair while casually asking him for career advice. It wasn't a publicity stunt, it wasn't performative, it was just a daughter and her dad, laughing, talking, existing together in ordinary moments that now feel painfully extraordinary. Romy wasn't just emotionally close to her parents, she lived physically close to them too. She resided directly across the street from Rob and Michele's home. Their lives were intertwined, neighbors, family, best friends. And now, that closeness only sharpens the grief. 3 days after the murders, Romy and her older brother Jake released a joint statement. They called Rob and Michele more than just parents, once again describing them as their best friends. Notably, the statement made no mention of their brother Nick. As Romy navigates her grief, sources tell Us Weekly that she's been leaning heavily on family, especially Michele's sisters Suzanne and Martine, who have stepped in to support both Romy and Jake. The insiders describe the siblings as numb right now, overwhelmed by shock, pain, and disbelief. Jake has reportedly remained a steady presence for Romy as they attempt to process a loss that defies comprehension. Rob and Michele Reiner were reportedly cremated following a memorial service honoring their lives. According to their death certificates released by authorities, both Rob and Michele were cremated at Mount Sinai Mortuary, and their ashes were released to Jake. Their final place of disposition is listed as Jake's residence. The brutal killings of Rob and Michele Reiner has left behind shattered lives. The couple was discovered inside their Brentwood, California home on December 14th. It was their daughter, Romy, who made the horrifying discovery. When police arrived at the scene, they quickly turned their attention inward to the family. Within hours, Rob and Michele's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner, was arrested. Nick has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, including a special circumstance allegation. He is currently being held at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles. Prosecutors allege Nick killed both of his parents. The charges are severe: first-degree murder with special circumstances, a charge that could carry life-altering consequences. Nick has not yet been tried, but the legal process is now underway. Nick has already made his first court appearance. The 32-year-old appeared behind glass, shackled, and wearing a padded suicide prevention smock. He did not enter a plea. His arraignment was postponed until January 7th at the request of his attorney.
A couple of quick words. First of all, and most importantly, this is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. Those need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. We ask that during this process you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves. So with that, we are set for January 7th for an arraignment. That's the next court date, and that's all I have to say at this point. There may be more at some other point, but today we're going to rest on where we stand procedurally, which is this was a continuance of arraignment. Nothing happened today substantively. We'll be back for an arraignment in the same department on the 7th of January. We'll see you then.
We'll be filing charges against Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michele Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with a special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty. We have requested, and currently Nick Reiner is being held without bail. Special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead to elevating in some ways a first-degree murder case to a special circumstance first-degree murder case occurs. One of those special circumstances is called multiple murders. Here we have 2, and it qualifies under the definition of multiple murders to allege the special circumstance in this particular case.
He was arrested in a public area, in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers and he was arrested without incident. There were no indications that there was no indication that he was going to resist or anything like that. He didn't flee or anything like that. He was taken into custody without issue, and he was transported to our police headquarters facility.
Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence, the residence of Rob and Michele Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found 2 deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michele Reiner. We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail.